Hello, estate planning attorney Brian Barbosa. Today I'm going to discuss what are some advantages versus disadvantages to having a living revocable trust. Now, before we get started, if estate planning is something you want to discuss, if you have questions, please feel free to contact me. You can either call me or you can go to my website, barbozalaw.com, and you can book an appointment with me directly through my website. I'd love to speak with you. So what are some advantages versus disadvantages of a living revocable trust? So one main advantage is by having a living revocable trust is you avoid what's called probate. So what probate is, it's a court process. In the event you pass away, where either you have a will or you pass away without a will and you don't have a trust, then the court, probate court, will determine who is going to be receiving your property. What heirs will receive what from your estate. And as you can imagine, this will be very expensive. There's attorney's fees involved. There's administrator fees involved. There are significant time delays involved with the distribution of your property. So by having a trust, a living revocable trust, you avoid the probate process. In addition, you would be able to avoid a conservatorship. If the trust is drafted correctly and it's put in place processes that need to be followed in the event that you become incompetent, then you can avoid the whole rigmarole of going through a conservatorship. And for those of you who don't know, conservatorship is whereby when you become incompetent and can no longer manage your financial affairs and you don't have something already in place like a trust, then the court will determine who will be a conservator over your property, and they will manage your property for you. This can be a very, very difficult time for people. Number one, the individual who has become incompetent doesn't know what's going on. They don't know why their family is making them go through this court process, why someone's trying to control their property, and it can be very, very emotional. So by having the trust and having drafted correctly, you can avoid the conservatorship issue. In addition, long-term continuity of your estate. The trust will help with your estate before you pass away, managing your estate before you pass away, and will continue to benefit the estate with long-term continuity of management. And what do I mean by this? So there's a trustee involved of a trust when you're alive. Mostly it's probably going to be you that set up the trust, and you're going to be able to manage the assets of the trust. However, when you pass away, you will have a successor trustee already designated, and so the trust can continue to be administered, and so it'll be much more seamless. Whereby if you pass away without a trust and you have to go through the probate process, as I mentioned, now the court's involved, now attorneys are involved, and it's not seamless. So by having the trust, the continuity of your estate and its management will be a benefit. So some disadvantages to having a living revocable trust is the cost of creating a trust up front is going to be more expensive than if your estate plan was a will-based estate plan. Because as you can imagine, a trust is a much more intricate and detailed document. So it's going to require a lot more work and a lot more sophistication in its development and execution. And so there's a little bit more cost up front. However, if you were to pass away and you have a trust and you can avoid probate, then you're going to actually save a ton of money on the back end because there won't be any court costs, attorney's fees, things like that. It's because you've been able to avoid probate. So you pay a little bit more up front. However, you save a ton of money on the back end. But that would be one disadvantage to having a living revocable trust. Another one is there is a significant amount of time that you're going to probably have to devote with a living revocable trust to fund the trust. And what I mean by that is this. For instance, if you own real estate and that real estate's in your name, you're going to have to change the deed on that real estate and make the trust the owner of the real estate. If you have bank accounts that are personal bank accounts, you're going to have to change those bank accounts to trust bank accounts. You may even have to change the beneficiary designations on things like retirement accounts, life insurance policies, and name the trust as a beneficiary. Now, sometimes that's the best way to do it, and other times you may not want to put the trust as the named beneficiary, but that's something you're going to want to discuss with an estate planning attorney. So there you go. There are some advantages and there are a few disadvantages as well to having a living revocable trust. If you want to discuss estate planning, if you want to discuss trusts, revocable trusts, please don't hesitate to contact me. Give me a call or go to my website, barbozalaw.com. I'd love to talk to you. You can book an appointment directly with me through my website. And like always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Thank you again and have a good day.